Hello and welcome to BQ Prime. We're talking to Mr. Narayanan Vaghul, a prominent banker. So, the first basic question I had for you, since the time ICICI Bank made a push into retail banking and the time now, how do you think the Indian consumer has changed?
In the time when I was there in ICICI, we didn't go up to the customers. Customers came to us.
Right.
That is a major difference.
Right. Yeah.
We didn't know what marketing was about. We didn't know about selling what the loan is about.
Right. Yeah.
We sat in our air-conditioned office, waiting for the customers to come in
Right.
and make repeated calls on us
Okay.
before a loan is sanctioned. That period is gone.
Okay.
Today, thanks to competition, thanks to a whole lot of digital initiatives,
Right.
you don't need to see a customer at all.
Yeah.
There's no contact with the customer, but you through online.
Right.
Even with the industrial customers, you make a call on them on a courtesy. He calls on you on courtesy call. He doesn't come to you to look and say, ask for a business loan or anything like that. There's so much of an option left. There's an option between one bank and another bank. There's an option between the banking and the market. There's an option between this bank and a global bank.
Right. Yeah.
So today the customer dynamics has changed enormously. Today the bank customer relationship is not what it used to be about 30 years back.
Right. Yeah.
And we were sitting in our air-conditioned chambers and
Now you
waiting for
have to
them.
chase them instead of them.
It changed.
Okay. The second question I had for you was that there's been a concern about how long the government can support economic growth by picking up the capex the economy needs, and how important would it be for the private sector to come back into greenfield investments? What's your outlook on that?
I'm not an economist, but I can say this much by gut feeling. As Nirmala talked a lot about instinctive and intuitive, I can talk about intuitively.
Sure.
Capex can give just as a lighting a lamp. You just this flicker,
Yeah.
and then it grows.
Right.
And the lamp, for example, if you light a match, the match lighting is then only in the chemicals in the click.
Yeah.
It has to catch into the wood. Once it catches into the wood, it burns for a long time.
Certainly.
So what is happening is capex in the expenditure is seen like that chemical in a matchstick. And matchstick it has caught. Now it is going to catch onto the fire,
And that is
into the
depend on-
wood.
Yeah.
And when it catches into the wood, I think the fire will glow
And that's when
for a
the private
longer
sector
time.
will come
That's
back.
how it will happen.
Right.
Today, the initial momentum is through the capex growth. But finally, I think the economy will be spruce up because of the overall growth. I, for one, I feel very confident because I've lived through about 60 years in my banking life. I started my bank when I was in 20. Now 67 years I've lived through. I've seen banking and I've seen it as good as it is today. The banking has also the economic growth.
Right.
There is an intuitive feeling that this economic growth is for good.
Right.
And this is not going to disappear. Particularly in this year, when I made a speech, I don't make insincere speeches. In a global turmoil, if we are able to stand up and we are able to hold on our own, I see no reason why it cannot last for a decade.
Understood. Thank you so much for talking to us, sir. It was a pleasure talking to you.